You know, when I'm out there and they came in the house, and they just somebody had you and cops came out there. Told me I was just taking out the garbage. Where you been?
Shit, man, I've been taking care of these motherfuckers.
Oh, damn.
Y'all was coming in, and now you're backing out. It's hard to talk big with a shotgun in your mouth. I'm glad you brought your friends. They can watch it go down. I got mine too. So welcome to my house. Cause these are my people, and this is my land. This is what we pray for, and this is God's plan. If you ain't from here, then you won't understand. This is my country, and this is who I am. So welcome to my house.
Everybody, welcome to this broadcast of the Apex Autoglass and Tinting Wing 410 Sprint Car Championship on iRacing. Tonight, the series tackles the Big E Eldora Speedway in Rossburg, Ohio, and for a treat qualifying just now hitting the Speedway. Hope everyone's having a good Thursday evening. I'm Drake York, joined by Alex Robinson. And Alex, when we think of big, fast sprint car tracks, I think the one we think of the first, if not one of the first tracks, is the Eldora Speedway.
Eldora, known for the King's Royal, known for the historic big one as well. And that was won by Brent Marks this year. So again, there's some pressure for some of these guys here. High side, always a thing. Known, that was always made famous by Jack Hodenshield, that high side. Who's going to run it best tonight?
Is the question, and right now the track is looking prime to get up on the high side as the evening goes on. Qualifying currently out on the speedway, Timothy Smith the fastest at a 12.676, then James Eden second fastest, Ealer is third, Forrester fourth, JD Brown rounds out the top five as we run out of time in qualifying. Timothy Smith will go quick time with the Apex Autoglass and Tinting Wing 410 Sprint Car Championship on iRacing. Eden second, Braden Ealer is third. Forster is fourth, JD Brown fifth, Lucius sixth, Yeager seventh, Avila eighth, Tanner Pettit ninth, and Logan Rumsney 10th. We'll go into our first of three heat races here this evening. Inside of the front row, that's where we'll find our fast time qualifier Timothy Smith. To his outside, Aiden Forrester. Dylan Yeager and Logan Rumsney back in row number 2. Evan C., Eric Whitner, row number 3. Aiden Bierlein and JP Schneider, row 4. Kevin Miller and Clayton Tilley, row 5. And then it's Cole Croft and Merle Gehring, the 4th, out the field here in heat race number 1.
So row number 2, going to be the one to keep your eye on here. Not only has Logan Rumsey, but also on that inside, Dylan Yeager. 2 quick cars. 2 of the younger drivers in this field here tonight. Both cars quick. Dylan Yeager, who we watched, won the dirt car 50 for 50, got up all expense paid trip to Super Dirt Week. So, I mean, the kid's fast, to say the least.
No doubt about it, and he's been impressive with us this year too. I mean, really, just across all forms of racing he's done so far. He just seems to be one that always impresses. There's no doubt about that. And the 12th in Apex points.
So then you look, Timothy Smith, that front row there. Tim Smith, some experience in the 410 field, as well as Logan Rumsey, who dipped his foot into the 410s this year in PA, and rumor has will make his World of Outlaw debut next year.
Rumor has it. I mean, he's been impressive in the micro. The last couple of years down at the Tulsa Shootout seems to be impressive every time he's down there. First heat race looks like we'll go green this time by off of turn number 4, 10 laps. Top 3 transfer into the feature. Timothy Smith on the break into turn number 1.
And already Yeager goes to the inside slide job for that second spot. Now here comes Forrester back to the inside, as well as Logan Rumsey. Now Rumsey has company. Here comes Evan C. in the 33.
Number 1 in the books, Timothy Smith out front. Then it's Yeager, Forrester. Forrester trying to make that middle line work. But here comes Rumsey off the high side of turn number 2. He'll bolt into the third and final transfer.
Forrester, Rumsey side by side. Here comes C. Here comes Whitner. Whitner now going to throw a slide job for the 4th spot here. 3 wide they go for 4th. Evan C. also in that battle here, chasing down Logan Rumsey in the 3rd spot. Timothy Smith out in front.
It's very wide already. Almost the entire field banging the boards, and it's not even cleaned off yet as into the wall just in front of Rumsey. Rumsey going to take the dive into turn number 3. That is the race for the 2nd spot, side by side off the corner.
Yeager and Rumsey side by side they were. Yeager holds on to 2nd. Now here comes Forrester. C still side by side. Evan C on the top side. Forrester on the bottom. That is your battle for 4th here. Now chasing down Logan Rumsey.
Has a good run down the front straightaway. Didn't take a look to the inside. He's still got a couple laps to make the move. The question is, when does he make his move? He'll try to get some clean air on the front wing. He'll dive down the racetrack. Whitner slides up in front of Forrester right behind him there, and Whitner into the wall. He's going to tag another car, and we'll stay green. No yellow flags in the heat race.
Logan Rumsey, Dylan Yeager, those two battled out for your 2nd spot. There is Evan C as well in the mix. C in the 4th spot here, chasing down 3-car battle here. Rumsey, Yeager, and Evan C.
Outside of turns 1 and 2 seems to be blowing off nicely. 3 and 4 slowly but surely coming along on the top side of the racetrack. 2 laps to go, and now we're slicing and dicing for 2nd.
Rumsey holding on to that 2nd spot. Now here comes Evan C to the inside on Dylan Yeager. Yeager topside, white flag in the air here. Rumsey, Yeager, C, 3 cars, 2 spots up for grabs.
From being comfortably in the feature on the hot seat. Top 3 dive low in 3 and 4. They'll slide up. Does C have a run to the checker? No, he doesn't. Timothy Smith wins heat 1. Logan Rumsey 2nd. And Dylan Yeager, your 3rd and final transfer.
So what a great way to start off the night here. That 3-car battle for the final transfer spots. Dylan Yeager, Logan Rumsey. The 2 cars I said to watch out for in heat race number 1 both lock into the show.
Timothy Smith, your winner in heat race number 1. Logan Rumsey 2nd. Dylan Yeager, your 3rd and final transfer. Moving on to a lower main this evening will be Evan C., Aiden Forrester, Clayton Tilley, J.P. Schneider, Kevin Miller, Cole Croft, Eric Whitner, and Merle Gehring the 4th. On to heat race number 2, and on the inside of the front row in the Swindell Speed Lab 52, that is James Edens. To side, J.D. Brown. Go back to row number 2, a former winner with this series this year, Ryan Avila and Braden Finsel. Tyler Schell, another winner this season. In fact, the all-time winningest driver with the Apex Series, lines up 5th to Lane Snook. Wolf and your points leader, Mason Hannigan, will make up row number 4. Ross Correnta, Blake Majulis, who have not seen with the Apex Series for some time. That's row number 5, Austin Drucke, and Trevor Meyer, your 6th and final row. Same rules apply, 10 laps, top 3 advance into tonight's feature event.
Of course, we can't go without talking. Look at these guys starting back in the pack here. Hannigan, Majulis. Those 2 cars have a lot of work to get done here if they want to lock into this show. Also, Tyler Schell, Lane Snook. not going to be starting in one of those transfer spots. So expect to see a lot of battles here between some of these top dogs.
I think it's also worth noting James Edens lining up on the inside of the front row. He won here with this series earlier this year during week 3 of action. Edens was the points leader at one point this year, has since slipped down into third, but still well in title contention. You talked about Mason Hannigan, our points leader. Lines up deep in this one. Should be an exciting 10 laps. Once again, top 3 advance into tonight's feature, Alex.
Edens Brown's front row for this one. Pace truck going to duck in here. Heat race number 2. Green flag is out for Edens.
Inside lane seems to be the place to be on starts and restarts his cars bouncing into the wall. 2 cars collected back. We stay green up front. It's James Edens leading the charge into turn number 3.
Tyler Shell going for that third spot there on J.D. Brown. Brown up top. Here goes Shell to the inside. Slide job for your third spot. Not going to clear it there as J.D. Brown sneaks around the corner here. Holds on to the third spot. Now trying to sneak to the inside for second on Ryan Avila.
Still respectful racing up towards the front of this field. Tyler Shell could have stuffed Brown in the fence if he wanted to. Decided to give him a lane. They both continue on. That is still the race for the transfer spot. Albeit, Alex, some of these guys starting to move a little bit lower on the racetrack on corner entrance. Mason Hannigan, meanwhile, your points leader on the trail, bet to a transfer spot. He's currently in 5th.
Mason Hannigan up to the 5th spot. One note here, Blake Majulis was caught up in that opening lap. Contact. He is out of heat race action here, but J.D. Brown, Tyler Shell, that battle still for 3rd.
J.D. Brown kind of Ross Chastained it off of turn number 4, got end into the fence and just kind of had to keep his foot in it. Some way, somehow was able to hang on to that transfer spot. But Tyler Shell, we talked about it. He has the most championships, most wins with this series. He is on the outside looking in. That just goes to show you the quality of this field.
J.D. Brown still holding on to that 3rd spot. Here comes Shell again to the inside, side by side. Brown gets the run out of the corner, holds on to 3rd. Shell in 4th. Mason Hannigan stuck in that 5th spot here. James Edens still your race leader.
The front 2 got checked up there, and that's going to bring J.D. Brown into the fray.
J.D. Brown now trying to sneak to the inside here. Battle on 3 cars. Make it 4-car battle here. 3 go on. 1 goes to a last chance showdown here. Avila, your new race leader. James Edens in 2nd. Brown. Here comes Shell yet again. 4 cars. 3 go on.
Turn for the white flag, this time off of 4. J.D. Brown wall rides it again. He's got the 3rd spot momentarily. Shell slides up through 1 and 2. Brown and Shell make contact off the corner. Meanwhile, up front, Ryan Avila clear of everybody else. With one last charge, but it'll be Ryan Avila taking the win. James Edens and Mason Hannigan. Some last lap misfortune for Brown, and Shell will make it into the show.
So Mason Hannigan up 5 spots to claim that 3rd and final transfer spot for Shell and Brown, who both had clean runs until that final lap. They will have to go through last chance showdowns here tonight.
On to heat race number 3. Before we do that, here is your heat race number 2 results. Ryan Avila, your winner. James Edens, 2nd. Little Hurricane Mason Hannigan, 3rd. Tyler Shell able to hang on to a 4 spot, but he'll go to a lower feature. It's J.D. Brown, Lane Snook, Trevor Meyer, Austin Drucke, Finsel, and Blake Majulis rounding out the field. And that's your results to heat race number 2. We'll move on to heat race number 3, 3rd and final. Taylor and Bryce Lucius on the front row. Tanner Pettit and Kenny Hoffman will make up row number 2. John Helms, Justin Schultz, row 3. Spear and Blake Giglow, row number 4. Rylan Pearson and Andrew Allen, row number 4. And on the 6th and final row to the inside by his lonesome will be Ross Kaiser. Laps, top 3 advance into the feature event. Final heat race of the night for the Apex Autoglass and Tinting Wing 410 Sprint Car Championship.
And for the cars to watch out for, I'm going to talk about the guy starting on the pole. Braden Eiler on the front row for this one. He is always quick, especially at these bigger racetracks. He'll be one to keep your eye on. Bryce Lucius on the outside. Hoffman. And then you have John Helms in the mid-pack here. Another quick car. And with this racetrack, we've seen it in heat race number 1 and 2. Anything can happen here in heat race action.
Tanner Pettit, currently 9th in points, lines up 4th in this heat race, so it adds on to the star-studded list in heat race number 3. Lucius and Eiler. Eiler and Lucius on the front row. Silverado Pacetrack to the infield. Third and final heat race here at the Eldora Speedway is underway.
Braden Eiler leads him into turn 1 and 2 already. Hoffman and Pettit going at it. Bryce Lucius drops back to the 4th spot here. So problems for that 22 machine early on here in heat race number 3.
Like he got in the wall off at turn number 2. Nonetheless, we stay green. Eiler, Pettit, Hoffman. That's the top 3, and it already looks to be a 3-car breakaway down the back straightaway.
Braden Eiler leading these top 3 cars here. Pettit, Hoffman, then Bryce Lucius trying to chase down Kenny Hoffman there in that 3rd spot. Now battle for your race lead as Pettit tried to sneak to the inside here on Braden Eiler. Eiler goes topside. Pettit goes inside, side by side for top spot.
Eiler with the momentum off at turn number 4 will keep lead over Tanner Pettit.
Pettit now still trying to sneak to the inside. Now he'll go topside here and join back into the top side. Eiler, Pettit, Hoffman, Lucius. I think about all cars on the top side. Now here comes Hoffman to the inside. Trying to sneak to the inside here. Side by side slide job for your 2nd spot. Kenny Hoffman now in 2nd.
Pettit got into the wall off at turn number 4 the previous lap, and that slowed his momentum. Perfect opportunity for Kenny Hoffman to slide through his 2nd. Tanner Pettit not letting him get away. He's going to throw a slider here into turn number 3.
Sliders being traded between Hoffman and Pettit. Now Hoffman going to return the favor here. Slide job for 2nd as well. Hoffman, Pettit, side by side. Now Pettit going to clear him into turn 3 and 4. Again, a slide job here, so slide jobs for 2nd and 3rd.
Back right now, Alex is perfection. What we know and love about the Eldora Speedway is being showcased right here between these 2 great iRacers, Pettit, Hoffman, going slicing and dicing like a Vegematic off of 4. Pettit back into the fence. They're still side by side for a 2nd with 2 laps to go.
Pettit sneaks to the inside here. Will he have enough speed going into the corner to clear this slide job? He will. Takes over 2nd yet again. Hoffman, white flag is out. Battle for 2nd.
Pettit's right side of his race car and the outside wall become best friends off of turn number 4. Oh, but it looks like Pettit's slow and he might have an issue. Bryce just is going to come by for the 3rd and final transfer spot as Braden Eiler will take the win in heat race number 3. Like Tanner Pettit may have ran out of fuel. Might have been trying to play a dangerous game with fuel in that 24 machine, and it cost him dearly. So Braden Eiler, your winner. Kenny Hoffman, 2nd. And we'll pull up the results here. Heat race number 3. Bryce Lucius, the benefactor. Tanner Pettit running out of fuel. Hoffman, Lucius to the feature event. Then it's Connor Spear, Ross Kaiser, Blake Giglow, Rylan Pearson, Andrew Allen, Schultz. Tanner Pettit goes from 3rd to 10th in the final lap. On Helms rounding out your field. Go into tonight's D main event on the inside of the front row, Braden Finsel, and to his outside, Tanner Pettit, who we just saw in that last heat race. Hittner and Chase Wolf, row number 2, John Helms, and the 4th, and Blake Majulis will round out our 7-car field in tonight's D main event.
For 2 of these guys, John Helms, Blake Majulis, it is very uncharacteristic for those 2 here, and it's go big or go home for those 2 quick drivers here tonight. 7 cars in this race. Ken Majulis, both of them exited their heat races a lot earlier than expected as well with some contact. So can they get some redemption here and keep their night alive?
That's the big question. And ready to go in tonight's main event. Lower Main Racing left to go for us here this evening. Thank you once again for everybody joining us at Dirt TV. Hope you're having a good Thursday evening. We certainly are here covering the racing action for you at the Eldora Speedway.
So for Pettit, it's going to be interesting to watch how this works out for him as well here. Remember, was in a transfer spot, ran out of fuel here. Pace truck going to duck off here. Who goes big, who goes home, we'll find out. Pace truck is off, green flag is out, we are underway.
Flag is out, and the inside lane continues to be the preferred groove for restarts here as Braden Finsel jumps out to the early lead. Whitner and Pettit now go mano-a-mano for second.
Pettit with a slide job here on Whitner. Now Whitner goes to the inside, side by side. Yet again, we're going to have battles throughout here. Slide job for second yet again. Now here comes Chase Wolf. Here comes Blake Majulis. As now Wolf, it's going to be a 2-on-1 slide job. Only Whitner going to clear that slide job.
I used to think that riding the wall off of turn number 4 at Eldora cannot work, but some of these guys are proving me wrong. Just watch Whitner bang it off the fence, and they are like wall riding from... Oh boy, that was close there in 3 and 4. But off the corner, some of these guys playing a very risky game as Finsel and Tanner Pettit now side by side for the lead in 2.
Battle for the race lead in Finsel and Pettit. Wolf now on the inside here of Whitner, and here comes Blake Majulis. Here comes John Helms. All 6 cars right there together. Almost a 3-wide battle for the race lead. Finsel, Pettit holding on. There's problems for that 14 machine of Chase Wolf.
Wolf off the pace. We stay green. Remember, no yellows in the lower mains. Finsel, Pettit, Whitner, Majulis, the top 4, and John Helms right there in tow, running back in the 5th spot. Tanner Pettit sets up for a slider into turn number 3. The to the lead. Can he hold it? He does at the start-finish line. Finsel back to the inside. He's going to throw the big turn 1 slider. Pettit off the wall once, twice. He rides it, and that's going to cost him a ton of momentum as here comes Whitner and the rest of the field back behind.
Majulis and John Helms right there as well as now contact there. Whitner gets into Majulis, opens the door. John Helms now into the 3rd spot here, but also gives some more breathing room as a slide chop there by Pettit on Finsel.
No, this is a D main event the way these guys are racing. Finsel back to the inside one more time through 1 and 2. The crossover, he's got the momentum down the back stretch. Defensive line for Pettit. Finsel goes even lower than the 24 does. Can't clear up. Tanner Pettit's going to lead that time at the stripe.
White flag is out. Pettit out in front here. Finsel and Blake Majulis, who had contact there. He's back up to the 3rd spot here. But Tanner Pettit going to win this D main here. Finsel, Majulis, drag race to the line, but Finsel gets Majulis for 2nd.
An exciting race there in the D main event. So for a few of these guys, their nights will be done, but Tanner Pettit's been driving tonight. I would not be shocked to see him try to make a run through the soup. Tanner Pettit, your winner of the D main event. Braden Finsel 2nd. Blake Majulis 3rd. John Helms 4th. Whitner and Wolf will round out the field. Here's your lineup for tonight's C main event. Pearson and Aiden Beerline, the front row. Trevor Meyer, Andrew Allen, row number 2. Kevin Miller, Austin Jaruki, row number 3. Schultz and Cole Croft, row number 4. Then we go back to row number 5. That's where we'll find 2 of our 3 D main event transfers. Tanner Pettit, the D main event winner, will line up 9th, and to his outside, Braden Finsel, and Blake Majulis will complete the 11-car starting lineup. Stacked one, and Alex, I said, I think Tanner Pettit's going to be a fun one to watch. You look at Blake Majulis too, usually a fan favorite wherever he races on iRacing, and at that too, a driver that we haven't seen with the Apex Series for some time, making his return tonight. Start off the way he wanted it to in his heat race, but he could be one that will make a soup run here tonight.
And then you look at up front, too, another uncharacteristic person in a C-main here, that 13 of Aiden Beerline in this C-main here. We saw it. 3 drivers in that D-main were pro drivers, and I'm pretty sure Blake Majulis, 4 maybe it was, and Blake Majulis, it looks like, was probably the only one, it seems, that made it from that D main here, as no, Pettit also in a world class. So 3 of them are in this C main with Beerline, Pettit, and Majulis. Can all 3 of them make it to the B main and possibly the A main, or will somebody play spoiler to these pros?
Also got to look at, too, is Beerline currently 2nd in the points behind Mason Hannigan. Hannigan's already through. Beerline needs to make it through the C and the upcoming B main event to still, at the very least, keep pace with Mason Hannigan in the championship race. Green flag is out in tonight's C main event. We'll take 3 more and put them at the back of the B.
Pearson with a great jump. Here comes No. He gets in the cushion and then into the wall yet again here, as here comes Aiden Beerline. Here comes Croft now as Beerline goes to the bottom side. He takes the race lead. Now for that third spot, Croft, Meyer, Allen, they're all right there for third.
In the world did Cole Croft come from? He started deep in this one, gets a little bit sideways down the backstretch. That checks everybody up behind him. But Cole Croft, the youngster out of California, the third and final transfer as they stand.
And look who's already up into the 6th spot, the 127 machine. It is Blake Majulis. He's in 6th here. He needs 3 more spots to move on to the B main. He is going to try and go 3 wide here. He gets by 1 spot here. Now going to go for 2. Slide job here. Majulis up to 4th.
Majulis gets crossed over by Schultz, but Alex, that car's got some attitude towards it, and he's going to Ross Chastain it off of 4. Croft into the fence too. Cole Croft trying to hang on that third and final transfer spot. Majulis gets into the back of him. Schultz into 3rd. Croft going to counter punch down the backstretch into 3.
Croft and Stoles side by side here. That's for your 3rd spot. Stoles to the bottom side. Croft up top. Little slide job there by Justin Stoles for your 3rd spot. Now here comes Croft to the inside. Not going to get there. Stoles holds on going into 3 and 4. Now Croft returns the slider here. He takes over 3rd.
These two kind of on their own island right now, so it's a 2-way race for that third and final transfer spot. Schultz back up to the top side in 1 and 2. This time he may be able to hold it. No, Croft right back there into 3. Cole Croft slides up one more time. He's back into 3rd. Schultz counter punches one more time. He'll throw the big slider yet again on Croft in 1 and 2.
Croft and Stoles, instant classic here for the 3rd spot. One goes on, one goes home, as now Croft with a small slider there on Stoles, almost chopped the nose off of him there, as now Stoles returns the slider here yet again. Slide job after slide job for this 3rd spot. Aiden Beerline, Rylan Pearson, those two have checked out in front of the field here, but this battle for 3rd still heats on.
Croft got to the left rear. Stoles is going to make a smart move and block, but Croft goes even lower. Cole Croft back into 3rd.
Croft and Stoles going at it here. Stoles holds on to the top spot here. Cole Croft in the 4th spot. He's going to go to the bottom side. Stoles, as they're both running a little bit of a slider line there. Justin Stoles holding on to the 3rd spot here. Cole Croft still trying to close back in here. White flag in the air.
Once again, just these two racing for the third and final transfer spot. Andrew Allen is the car furthest back. Up front, Aiden Beerline, driver currently second in Apex points, will take the win in the C main. Rylan Pearson second, and Stoles will hold off Cole Croft for the third and final transfer spot in tonight's B main event. About that one, race fans. Justin Stoles holds off the youngster out of California, Cole Croft, for that third and final transfer spot. That was some synchronized racing between those two at the front of the field. Meanwhile, Aiden Beerline, by 2 seconds, drove away with the win. He'll go in tonight's B main event along with Rylan Pearson and Justin Stoles, who went toe-to-toe with Cole Croft. Allen, Meyer, Miller, Finsel, Pettit, Majulis, and Drucki rounding out the field, and that will be a big hit in the points for Tanner Pettit, who came into tonight 9th in series points. Move on to tonight's B main event. Top 11 will go into tonight's feature event. C and Tyler Shell, two heavy hitters on the front row. Connor Spear, Aiden Forrester, row number 2. Ross Kaiser, the boss, is back on row number 3. Tilly and J.D. Brown, row number 4. Blake Giglow, J.P. Schneider, row 5. Snook and Aiden Beerline, your B or C main event winner rather, will start 12th. And back to the 7th and final row will be Rylan Pearson, and your final transfer out of tonight's C main event, Justin Stoles. Top 11 now, Alex, transfer out of this one. So, safe to say, a lot more cars going out of C, or boy, I'm getting all my letters mixed up, Alex. 11 out of the B into the A. Alphabet is hard, Alex. I'll tell you what, it's hard sometimes.
Just a bit, and man, talk about the pros. We said how many were in those D and C mains. I think the producer said, what, 7 pros? 8 pros in this B main. Some will go in, some will go home possibly here, but it's going to be an interesting B main to say the least.
Like I said, top 11 going out of this one. So there's going to be battles throughout the field, no doubt about it. 14 cars taking 11 out. So once this could be one of the few times we say spot is the battle to watch. Main event, top 11 go into the feature. Done for the evening as Tyler Shell was at the top of turn 4. He's scheduled to start on the outside of the front row. And Alex, I'm not seeing that car blinking, so we know it's not internet or something like that causing.
I think it had something to do with that heat race contact there that sends Tyler Shell to the back. So a little bit of work has to be done with that 85 machine if he wants to lock into tonight's A main event here. And then you talk about Aiden Beerline needs to make the show here to keep it close in the points battle as well. But lights are out. 14 laps the distance here in your B main. Green flag is out. Evan C leads us to the green flag.
Evan C doesn't just lead us to the green flag. He absolutely drives away from the field. Connor Spear into the second spot. Forrester in tow down the back. Straightaways look further back in the field. Everybody trying to mind their P's and Q's. The track is slick and it's wide right now. Perfect Eldora Speedway conditions.
There you see J.D. Brown right now battling it out. J.P. Scheider as well. He's into the 6th spot here. So battles throughout. There you see Aiden Beerline, Justin Stoles, all battling it out as well here. 2x2, 3-wide action. And that is only 2 laps in the books.
Justin Stoles right now, your 11th and final transfer car as they run. But still a long way to go here. 14 laps the distance. And if it off the fence, absolutely wall riding it. He gets by a couple cars right there. He's in car number 5.
And Tyler Shell right now in that 13th spot. Lane Snook, Aiden Beerline. That's your battle for the 11th spot here as battle for a 10th and 11th correction. Beerline in the 10th spot. Snook in the 11th spot. Stoles, Shell, Pearson are the odd men out right now.
Dyson and Dyson throughout the entire field. And Alex, we went from the top side being the dominant line to now quite a few cars dipping down throughout the speedway. There's a few cars trying to make the bottom side of the speedway work in turn number 3. It's tough right now as whoa, one car rides up on the wall in the back straightaway. Yellow flags in the lower main, so we stay green. Couldn't quite make out who that was. I just saw a car riding up on the backstretch wall. Meanwhile, big slider from Tyler Shell. Shell to the 10th spot. He's only 1 spot to the good. Ross Corinta right now, your 11th and final transfer car.
Tyler Shell, J.D. Brown, Aiden Beerline, 3 pros in their own right, battling it out right now for 8th, 9th, and 10th here. Aiden Beerline on the top side. Tyler Shell goes to the bottom. There you see about 4 cars in front of him. They are all on the top side. Shell right now playing top bottom here, and there you see the 14 machine there. That is going to be Brown trying to run a slider line there, holding off Ross Corinta right now.
Those drivers right now both in the show as Tyler Shell checked up a little bit right in front of J.D. Brown. Brown got in the back of him. They were able to keep it clean and Breen. Now with a slider in turns 1 and 2, he was in 9th momentarily. Shell crosses him back. Here's Ross Corinta in tow.
And remember that battle in the heat race between Shell and Brown. They reconvene this again in the B main here. As there you see a car on the bottom side there. Not sure, I think that was Justin Stoles there, but now a slide job there as that is the 57 machine of Spear, and it looks like Tilly as well.
Tilly and Spear going at it for that 3rd spot. Tilly sends him up nicely down into 3 and 4, unable to make the pass right there. 2 laps to go to decide the final 11 starters in tonight's feature event.
Clayton Tilly trying to catch back up to Connor Spear there. He'll go to the bottom side as there you see Aiden Beerline there. White flag in the air. Contact being made there as Beerline still trying to hold on here. Beerline now Scheider gets by Beerline as well. Evan C, though, just about a corner left, and he locks up an A main transfer.
Picks off 2 down the back straightaway. Ross Corinta right now the final transfer. See your winner. Forrester, Spear, Tilly, Kaiser, Beerline, Giglow, Brown, Schneider, Shell, and Lane Snook into the 11th and final transfer spot in the final lap. Exciting way to end the B main event Lane Snook, your 11th and final transfer into the feature event. Evan C. was your winner. Forrester 2nd, Spear 3rd, Tilly 4th, Kaiser 5th, Beerline 6th, 7th Giglow, 8th Brown, 9th Schneider, 10th Tyler Shell, and Lane Snook, your 11th and final transfer. Ross Corinto, Ryland Pearson, and Justin Stoles done for the evening.
So what an interesting and great B main that was. Actually, let's be honest, the D, the C, and the B main were all great racing, as well as the heat races. In this feature event, it has now all come together here. I think this feature event is going to be phenomenal.
Yeah, and surprising to see the racetrack hold up this good over the course of those 3 heat races, E, the C, and the B. And it's giving these drivers options. Right now what you're seeing is the feature drivers warming up, and 2 things that have really surprised me. One, there's no track work being done before tonight's feature event, and 2, you're seeing it right now here during warm-ups. They're bouncing it off the fence. Not even bouncing it, they're riding the fence off of turn number 4.
You know, I will put it out there. It is a great thing that we don't have such thing as flat tires here on iRacing, because hitting this wall as many times as some of these guys have tonight, there will be a few right rears down tonight.
No kidding. And quickly, we get through our warm-ups for the feature event drivers. It is now feature time here at the Eldora Speedway for the Apex Autoglass and Tinting Wing 410 Sprint Car Championship Racing. We'll take you from the back of the grid all the way to the front. In row number 10 on the outside, starting 20th, your 11th and final transfer out of lane, that is Lane Snook, and to his inside, the most successful driver in Apex history, Tyler Shell, lines up 19th. Starting JP Schneider, and to his inside, JD Brown. At number 8, Blake Giglow and Aiden Beerline keeping the title fight alive in this feature event. He comes in the night second in points. He starts 15th. Ross Kaiser on the outside of row number 14, and the Aussie Clayton Tilley to his inside. Spear and Aiden Forrester make up row number 6. Then we break into the top 10 with Evan C. starting 10th. Bryce Lucius will start 9th. Your current points leader out of Pittsburgh, Indiana, the Little Hurricane, Mason Hannigan, starts 8th. Tiger starts 7th. Shot51.com entry of Kenny Hoffman will line up 6th. To his inside, this driver won with the series earlier this year here at the Eldora Speedway. That's James Edens. Logan Rumsney out of PA will start 4th, and to his inside will be Braden Eiler. Your front row, one of the many SpeedShot51.com entries. In the 49, that will be Ryan Avila, and to his inside, your pole sitter will be Timothy Smith. Alex, I know we sound like broken records. A lot of heavy hitters in this one, and a racetrack that's going to promote a lot of slide jobs. Also, a lot of strategic racing, too. Racing on a racetrack that is this slick and technical is no easy feat. But fortunately for us, we got 20 of the best winged sprint car drivers on iRacing ready to do battle here at the Eldora Speedway this evening.
And you can't go without, look at these guys in the back of the field that came through this big main. Kaiser, Forrester, Scheider, Beerline, Snook, Shell. Those guys are all going to be heavy hitters here in this feature event. Who's going to battle up to a top 10 spot? Who's going to go home? We'll find out. Pace truck is in. Green flag is out. Your A main event is underway.
Inside lane, even when the track is this dark and slick, seems to be the preferred groove on restarts. Timothy Smith with the break off at turn number 2 and down the backstretch. We're 4 wide into turn number 3 on lap 1.
Timothy Smith out in front. Braden Eiler in the second spot right now, but battle is on. Here comes Logan Rumsey, Dylan Yeager, Ryan Avila, James Edens, all right there right now, trying to get it settled out again. 40 long laps it'll be. Timothy Smith out in front, though, leading lap number 2.
That purple and white 48 of Dylan Yeager, one of the few cars trying to make the bottom side of the speedway work, and it is a tricky trail to tread down on the inside part of the speedway. Right now, not exactly going to plan, as he is currently being ambushed by 1 but 2 cars on the outside lanes.
And you know what? We always knew Dylan Yeager as the bottom feeder here, but at Eldora Speedway, it is not the way to go right now. That top side is the way around this racetrack. Smith, Eiler, Rumsey now on the top side as well. Battle on for the 4th spot here, and now Yeager trying to get by Rumsey here for 3rd. Hoffman, Avila, C, all right there as well.
And keep your eyes on Dylan Yeager, especially in 3 and 4. That's where he makes a lot of headway. Kind of missed the bottom a little bit on entry. That's going to cost him dearly, as here comes Hoffman and C to the outside of him here in turns 1 and 2. That is the race for the 4th spot off the corner.
And right now, Rumsey holds on to that podium spot in the 3rd spot. Eiler and Smith, they're pulling away from this one. Then Hoffman, Yeager, C, Hannigan, Avila, all battling it out right now. Yeager and the 51 of Clayton Tilley, the odd men out on the bottom side right now.
Hannigan continues to make headway after a disastrous qualifying effort. He is currently 6th race fans. There you see him on your screen in that 1X. Is not done. This is a Mason Hannigan style racetrack right here, so we'll see what he can do here. But he has got a championship to win as well. How aggressive does he be? That's the main question. As Avila chastains it off the fence in turn 4.
And already up to the 11th spot, we talk about this points battle. Aiden Beerline up to 11th here so far. 1 spot away from the top 10 as you see Tyler Shell shot out of a rocket there into turn 3 and 4 there. Shell up to 8th.
Started on the back row. Guess what? He is up to 7th with 10 laps in the books. Meanwhile, Avila and Yeager go toe-to-toe. Yeager finally gives up on the bottom side of the speedway. Tyler Shell currently plus 12, and we're not even halfway through this. In fact, we're just past a quarter of a way through this race so far.
And when you talk about passing, Shell up 12, your 2nd highest climber right now. Evan C, who's up only plus 6 right now in that 4th spot. So Shell making the most of the passes here tonight. Kenny Hoffman in that 4th spot. Evan C right now in that 5th spot. Those two battling it out with Hannigan and Shell right behind.
It's a 4-way battle for that 4th spot. Evan C clears Hoffman and back straightaway. It's anybody's race into turn number 3 as they're crashing back behind. And the yellow is out on lap number 14. See who was involved. That was appeared to be outside the top 10. And Connor Spear here in the 57. One car got around in front of him and Jack Spear around. Bryce Lucius that got turned around, but Lucius got in the back of somebody. That's kind of what kickstarted the whole thing. Saying, yeah, he gets into the back of Clayton Tilley, who was avoiding a near crash right in front of him. Lucius and Spear looked to be the only cars involved there on the back straightaway. Nook was snaking his way through it. Couldn't quite tell if he made any contact. Spear has headed to the infield. If he's able to make it back out in time for the restart. Front, Timothy Smith, your race leader, started on the inside of the front row. Has led every lap so far.
And again, you can't go without talking about Tyler Shell, who was up. From that back, he's up into closing in, actually, on that top 5 here, as it looks like we will go green this time out of turn number 4. Eiler and Smith, that front row still. Shell up about 11 to 12 spots here, so keep an eye on that 85 here. Caution flag brought out. Brings them back together.
Eiler, your race leader, as we come to the green flag off at turn number 4. Rumsey with a good start. Rumsey goes from 3rd to 2nd as the field thunders down into turn number 1 and 2. Here's Evan C. Oh, there's contact. He gets tagged right in front of Smith, collects a few other cars in the back, and we're under yellow once again. Connor Spear there late. Evan C. with some heavy top wing damage. Timothy Smith able to keep it rolling. J.D. Brown was another car involved in that one as well. Calamity on the restart. Take a look at it here on the restart. Watch Evan C. He'll slide up. And that just sends him spinning in front of the rest of the field. Aiden Burline, for 2nd in points, got a piece of that as well in the 13. takes out quite a few front runners, as looks like James Edens is in the work area as well. Driver who won here back on week 3 in the work area.
Edens in the pits, C in the pits, Smith in the pits as well here. So now it gets even more interesting. We talked about keep an eye on Tyler Schell. Tyler Schell now up to 4th, up 15 spots here. And with another caution, brings him even closer to that race leader, Braden Eiler. And me being the PA guy I am, Eiler, Rumsey, Hoffman, and Schell, your top 4, and all 4 are from that great state of Pennsylvania.
Posse country. Yeah, Alex, you and I both know it's kind of an okay racing area.
You don't hate on my posse, man.
I love the posse. I just like getting you guys fired up sometimes.
Oh, well, you know, like I said about the historic big one, Brent Marks owned this place, so now what PA driver is going to own this place tonight is the real question here. Rumsey, Eiler, Schell, Hoffman, Mason Hannigan there as well in the top 5. We'll find out. Pace truck off, green flag, back out.
A little bit of an interesting line, cleared Rumsey and instantly came up to block him. We're 4 wide for the lead in turns 1 and 2. Eiler's going to get away. Rumsey in second. We're going to go 3 wide for third and a 3. Here's Hoffman now, make it 3 wide for second.
Eiler starting to pull away here. Rumsey in the second spot. Tyler Schell, Mason Hannigan now. Hannigan trying to go to the bottom side. Not going to get there. As I see Brett Wheeler is making jokes at my
Contact! Hoffman, Yeager, and that's going to collect quite a few more cars. Tilly's in it. Timothy Smith comes in late. Another huge crash. This one entering turn number 3. We go yellow one more time.
And Timothy Smith's night has gone from great to ugly now after getting caught up in that last caution, now caught up in this caution as well.
See what happens here off of the corner. This is Clay and Tilly we're watching, and they were crashing in front of them already, just nowhere to go. And man, that picked up so many cars so quickly. That goes to show you how quick things happen here at Eldora. High speed, high stakes sprint car racing. Great half mile.
So Hoffman involved, Yeager involved, Smith involved in another one. So go from race leader to 2 back-to-back involvements in wrecks. It always goes. You see the high life of racing, you see the low life of racing, and well, we've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly for one driver, all compiled into one night.
He would set himself up so great for tonight, as we see more cars dive off into the work area. But we go quick time, win his heat, start on the pole of the feature, lead quite a number of laps, and then lose the lead, and then all of a sudden, from 1 crash to 2 crash to looks like maybe the end of his night. I wouldn't be shocked. Yep, Timothy Smith currently in the work area. No surprise there. Edens in the work area. Hoffman in the work area. Evan C. Connor Spear called it a night, as well as J.D. Brown. Tyler Schell from row up to 3rd right now. Look at Mason Hannigan currently running in the 4th spot. A really good points night for him. Out of Pittsburgh, that has points advantage over Beerline. Line made a great effort. The main event won that. Lock him in the show. At least keep it close. Currently scored back in the 12th spot. Currently is Beerline. So it's night so far for Mason Hannigan. Earlier, how aggressive does he want to be with race, or is he going to go for the win? Green flag. Look at Tyler Schell from the inside of row number 2. He's quickly in a second into turn 1.
As there we go, Schell going at it there as now 3 wide battle here. That is Rumsey, Avila, all right there battling it out for your 3rd spot. Eiler and Schell, your top 2. Hannigan, Rumsey, Avila. Also Aiden Forrester now making a run up front.
The corner, Tyler Schell has 1 more car to pass, but this may be his toughest pass of the evening. 5 of Braden Eiler. Eiler looks to be comfortable at the front, but the question is for how long. Everybody to the top side in 1 and 2 except Avila. Avila really trying to make the bottom side of the racetrack work. A lot of precision to make that line work, especially when the racetrack is like this.
Logan Rumsey right now trying to hold on to that third spot here. Hannigan up top there. Forrester, it looks like, was on the bottom there. Avila as well, battling it out. Bryce Lucius, yeah, remember him? He's up into that A spot now.
Shell with a run in turns 1 and 2. He takes a shot at Eiler. The 85 to the front. Not for long, says Eiler. He crosses him back into 3. Eiler up front. Rumsey with the big run. He's going to throw his hat in the ring for the race lead.
Battle on for the race lead here. Eiler, Shell, Mason, Hannigan with a slide job there on Logan Rumsey. Now he takes over your third spot here. Now has to try and close in on Shell and Eiler here. Battle up front. Eiler, Shell, Tyler, Shell, and Eiler as now Mason Hannigan closing in as well.
Eiler just blinked off. There he is back on the speedway, so a little bit of a glitch in the internet possibly for Eiler, but he stays at the front of the field in front of Shell. Shell is right on his bumper all the way around the half mile here at Eldora. About our length between those two as we ride on board with Eiler looking back at Tyler Shell, and there you see that thin cushion they're riding around the Eldora Speedway on.
As there you see Shell running just a little bit lower than Braden Eiler there in turn 1 and 2. In 3 and 4, he's going to go a little bit lower as well on entry here. Not going to get as much speed, but he gets it on the exit there as there comes Tyler Shell now to the inside.
Shell to the lead through turns 1 and 2. Eiler with another cross back to the inside. Race for the lead into 3. Eiler gets him back. Hannigan, your points leader, has a front row seat for all of this. He want to become involved, or is he just content with running third right now? Still a long way to go in this one, as we'll be coming to 10 laps to go here in just a few laps.
Mason Hannigan up into the third spot here. Rumsey, Forrester, they're sitting in 4th and 5th right now. But up front, that top 3, Eiler, Shell, those slide jobs open the door for Hannigan to close in, and he's closing in even more here out of turn 3 and 4.
Hannigan really wants to see Tyler Shell throw another big bomb on Eiler. As Eiler got on the fence there in turns 1 and 2, Tyler Shell had to swerve to avoid. They are still nose to tail in at 3 and 4. Tyler Shell, oh, there's contact. Eiler in the wall, Shell's around. He takes by. Shell keeps it going. Eiler stops it in turn number 4, and the yellow flag will be needed. A Jurassic turn of events. The top 2 get together in turn number 4, and Mason Hannigan, at least for now, will inherit the race lead.
Talk about live and die by the high side. That is what Braden Eiler did here. And then you see Shell with that line lower here. Imagine if he ran the same exact line of Braden Eiler, he would have been caught up even worse than what he was.
Big question is right here, these officials put Shell out in front of Hannigan, or will they let Hannigan keep the lead? So the general consensus is right now that Hannigan would keep the race lead because he got the start-finish line, but we're still waiting for official confirmation. Either Shell, and he goes right on by the pace truck. Going to be a little bit of a wait-and-see game. Goes on here. Shell looks to be lining up on the inside of the front row, so he will hang on to the race lead. And again, relegated back to 2nd, so that's going to be your front row as we come back to green flag racing. Again, the front row.
And what we're going to talk about, is there any damage on that 85 as she will find out. Pace truck is off. Green flag is back out here. 1 lap or about 2 laps away from 10 to run here. Tyler Shell, Mason Hannigan. Hannigan going to try and close in here as Rumsey with a great jump on the inside. Caution flag out already yet again.
That gave us a good idea of what that 85 is still capable of, and at least in about the 3/4 of a lap we saw, everything seems to be all good with the 85. It's not sure what the yellow is out for, but he stopped on the racetrack or tipped over.
As it says, James Edens has entered the pit. So let's see if this involved Edens here.
Edens in that video. Oh, together, Edens sideways. Oh, and he got smoked by somebody. Yeah, things are a little crooked to say the least on the 52. So I would not be shocked if that ended his night.
So also on pit road right now, Lucius Beerline on pit road. So let's see if those two enter here. And if not, we're down to 10 cars left on the race surface.
I was going to say next, Alex. Attrition has become a surprising factor in this race. And you look throughout it right now, at least for the point standpoint of it right now. Hannigan, as they run, is currently back in third. And Beerline work area is 12th, but he is on the pit exit, and he will resume the race back in 11th. So still sizable gain for Mason Hannigan if the race were to end right now. Now, Hannigan could get in some accident and be able to make it back out, and that could really help Beerline just by staying on the racetrack. So we're down to 11. Green flag is back out at Eldora.
As Bryce Lucius actually... Lucius made it out as well there, so 12 cars left on the track. Here comes Rumsey now. Slide job for your second spot there. Rumsey, Hannigan battling it out here, and Tyler Schell now going to start to pull that gap.
It's a gap, Alex, but it's not a lot as Rumsey sets him up down the back straightaway. Rumsey with the turn 3 slider. New race leader momentarily is Logan Rumsey. Now Tyler Schell has somebody to hold off here in the winning laps.
Tyler Schell holding on to your race lead here. Logan Rumsey and now Aiden Forrester into that third spot. So Mason Hannigan, remember, we questioned if he would have the race lead. Now he dropped back to fourth here after having to restart second. Hannigan now has to fight here over Forrester. Side by side, those battles throughout here. Logan Rumsey now trying to set up Tyler Schell.
Rumsey sets him up again into turn number 3. Logan Rumsey to the cush. Can't quite clear him again. Tyler Schell back out front. Rumsey with the turn 1 slider. Does he clear him? Not by much. Schell crosses him back.
And you know, everyone says, oh, this game's an advantage for third and fourth, but not when they're trading sliders, as you see there. Hannigan and Forrester trading slide jobs, as now here comes a Giglo going at it as well. So a 3-car battle for your third spot there, and then you have Rumsey and Schell side by side slide job yet again here as battle for the race lead heats up.
He's definitely got the hot setup off at turn number 2. The big question is, how does he adjust at turn 3? He's thrown a few big sliders at Schell. He's got to change up the game plan. If he does what he's been doing, it's not going to work, as Schell's got a counterpunch for him each and every time. That time was probably Rumsey's closest time to taking the lead right there off of 4. Rumsey has got to change up his entrance into 3 or 4, or he's got to change up something to clear Schell.
And there you see a slide job there from Forrester now as 2 by 2 by 2 they go. So battles throughout the top 5 here. Rumsey yet again with a slide job here on Schell. Schell not going to duck under. Here comes Mason Hannigan. Contact between Hannigan and Schell. That opens a door. Now here comes Aiden Forrester now as well as Ryan Avila. White flag in the air. Logan Rumsey, Hannigan, Schell, Forrester, Avila all right there.
He changed exactly what he needed to, and that was where he threw his sliders off at turn number 4. Low and slow, Logan Rumsey to the victory at Eldora. Second spot, Tyler Schell and Ryan Avila snags a podium at the end of this one. Then it's Hannigan, Forrester, Giglo, Eiler, Kaiser, Tilley, and Beerline, the top 10. About that one, race fans, that was a classic start to finish. Logan Rumsey, winner here tonight at the Eldora Speedway.
As I can be excited here because Pennsylvania takes 2 out of the top 3. I'm happy here. Rumsey, Schell, what a great race there. Slide job after slide job between the two of them. And again, it usually opens the door for third and fourth to come into the picture, but not when Avila, Hannigan, Forrester all trading slide jobs there. It kept the battles close, but overall, Logan Rumsey with the win. Tyler Schell coming home in second, and then talk about a story here. Ryan Avila makes a last corner pass on Hannigan and Forrester to take over that third spot.
As I said, Alex, classic to finish. That's what we know and love about the Eldora Speedway. Daytime racing, people hate on it all the time, but it provided good racing as we have your winner here. Logan, that was classic start to finish. You threw a few sliders on Tyler down in 3 and 4. They didn't work. You changed up the game plan. You threw your sliders in turns 1 and 2. What was the difference in 1 and 2 that was able to allow those sliders to stick compared to 3 and 4?
Yeah, we just got racing there at the end. I don't know if Tyler's car was broke, but right after the restart, we just really had something for him. But the track was just really different. Like it felt like it looked like a real Eldora. It was just slick to the wall, no cushion. And once the little cushion went away that was up there, you could kind of just once it went away, you could kind of just cut down and run right through the middle of the track. And that's what I started doing there. And I could just throw sliders from way back, and that's how we got it done.
I'd like to thank for getting you in victory lane tonight.
I run at Slick Sim Sport and Speed Lab Esports. Josh are putting up the league.
Well, how about it for Logan Rumsney, your feature event winner here at the Big E Thriller. Tyler Shell almost made the run from the final row to the feature event win. Didn't quite work out, but Tyler, let's go back to you and Eiler's little collision down there in 3 and 4. What happened from your viewpoint, and did it break anything on the car that could have hindered you from getting the win tonight?
Yeah, just he kept hitting the wall and stuff, and I kept just trying to stay away from, like, kind of back off a little bit, just lift, because the long race, so 40 laps, I got behind him, like, lap 20. So kind of was just biding my time, and then just caught him at the wrong time where he hit the wall and just had nowhere to go. And yeah, it broke the right front, and then when Mason hit me, it shifted the rear end. So we were kind of just hanging on there. We almost hung on to it at the end, but we'll take a second from 19th.
Do you like to thank?
Yeah, just like to thank everybody that puts time in and put this league on. You guys for broadcasting, and then I was up Sim Sports, and then More Than Tires, Jessup Logistics, Paints by Tune again, and Her Got Real Estate.
Shell second place tonight here at Eldora, of course, started all the way on the back row. Final driver on the podium tonight is Ryan Avila, and Ryan, you made a pretty late move to get on the podium. How did you make that stick on Mason Hannigan down on the inside of the speedway in 3 and 4?
Oh yeah, I was in Discord call with Aiden, with teammates, so he just said they're wrecking, and I knew I had to get somewhere, so I cut down and, prayed for the best. So, yeah, made it work.
Worked out, that's for sure. Anybody like to thank for getting you out here tonight?
Speed Shop 51, Momentum Simsport, Trackside Collective, Tilt Tech Racing Products, Verdict Clothing, CT Designs, and CD Cinematography for what they do for the team.
Ryan Avila, bottom step of the podium. That's going to do it for us here tonight at the Eldora Speedway.
And man, oh man, that was just fun. From start to finish, that was just fun. Slide jobs were the name of the game all night, and I'll tell you what, if you like that, you better tune in every week, because I think it's just going to get better as the weeks go on.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. This race, I'll say it once, I'll say it again. Classic start to finish. And we're looking at a few of the replays from this race. And we'll say all the time, day racing doesn't work. Well, on iRacing it does, and it provided quite possibly the race of the season for us here with the Apex Class and Tinting Wing 410 Sprint Car Championship. And it just provided for a lot of good racing. You heard Logan Rumsey, your winner, talk about the is between 3 and 4 and the way he had to set up his sliders at different ends of the speedway. It was just different on both ends, but nonetheless, it provided for some great racing.
Yes, it did, and I'll tell you, depending on how schedules line up, hopefully I can be back here at least sometime yet before the end of the season.
I sure hope so, too. Racing is a crazy business. We all know that, whether on iRacing or in the real world. Once again, race fans, that will do it for us here on Ultimate Dirt TV. Thank you so much for hanging out with us here on the Thursday evening, watching some great Wing 410 sprint car racing from the Eldora Speedway. So for Brent Wheeler at Ultimate Dirt TV, Alex Robinson, I'm Drake York saying so long from the Big E.